Hello, welcome to the Wool Winder podcast. I'm Frances and it is so nice to see you. I've got lots of knitting progress to share with you. I've got ideas swimming around in my head and lots of project plans. And I'll also share a little bit of Cowl with you at the end of the video. So let's get started. I'm wearing today the Lanark sweater by Rebecca Clow from the Cardigan. And this has been a really fun project to knit. I've really enjoyed doing this. It's a really interesting pattern. There was a little bit of trepidation when I started it because it said in some of the reviews on Ravelry that there were lots of mistakes. Rebecca did bring out an updated version of the pattern, which I think helped enormously. She's also added some extra videos in to help people along with it. And I did not struggle with it. I think the video is and so forth helped me where there might have been an element of doubt. And I came across only literally just the one mistake, which I mentioned in an earlier video, which is where she gives you a link to one of her videos and it's the wrong video. But if you go in on Ravelry, you'll see that Rebecca's put the correct one in there. So yeah, fabulous knit, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to getting out and wearing this. But let me tell you a little bit about the construction of it because it's really interesting. So I cast it on with Judy's Magic Cast On, and that gives you two lines of cast on two separate needles next to each other. And then you start by knitting the collar, and then you're going down onto the back. Then you're picking up the stitches and you're coming down onto the front. Then you're joining in the round and knitting straight down. And I found by that point, I'd really got used to the pattern and it was very straightforward to knit, didn't require much thinking about at all. I went up a size on the body as I usually do for that. Picked up stitches for the sleeves around the armholes, and both the hem and the cuff are bound off using Italian bind off to give that nice stretchy but attractive finish. And then we moved on to the zip, so I had to put knit a facing to put in for the zip, and I'll put in some pictures of that so that you can see that. And then you slip stitch the facing in place, and then you put the zip in the middle, so you're creating a sandwich. So you've got your facing, you've got the knitting on top, and the zip is in the middle, and then you stitch that together, stitch that down so that it goes in there. There's a video to show you how to do that, and that answered any questions that I did have. To be honest, it was, I said to you before, I haven't done it before, but actually when it came to doing it, it was really straightforward. It's just a question of trying to keep it neat, making sure that your tension between the knitting and the zip stays even. But other than that, no, it was really straightforward to do. And you're just sewing it up with ordinary sewing thread. So I am, as I say, really looking forward to getting out, wearing this. I'm thinking wearing it on walks, on the beach, other coastal walks. It's warm. It's the yarn that I knitted it in is West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft, which is 100% Shetland wool, and this colour is Norby 353, and it's a lovely yarn. It's very small bit of toofiness to it, softened up a bit with blocking, comfortable enough for me to wear against my bare arms. I've just got a t-shirt on under here, so yeah, it's a nice yarn. As I say, I'm really looking forward to getting out and wearing this. So I have a second finished object to share with you, which doesn't happen very often. And this is also a Rebecca Clow design. This is the Cargill Cowl. And this is beautiful. I think this would make such lovely presents for people. And yeah, it's very snug. Something that's the kind of thing you're going to want to put around your neck on a really wintry day. because it does feel really warm. So I've knitted it with Rowan Island Blend, which is a very soft, it's Falkland Island merino double knit, and held together with a strand of mohair. And no, it is beautiful. So I've cast it on using the tubular cast on, and it's got this dip stitched pattern where you're basically going down several rows below and putting your needle in and creating that, which is what creates these little, I don't know, I think they look like wings. It's kind of hard to know how to describe them, but they are lovely, and I enjoyed doing that. And the pattern has obviously got the row where you're doing that, but the other rows are fairly simple. So it is one of those where it's, you know, every row 4 is a little bit more tricky, but the others are much more straightforward. So beautiful little knit. This has been my knit that I've kept, my sort of travel knit, if you like, for when I'm travelling on the train or something like that, where you only want a small project. So I'm now thinking to myself, I'm going to need to find something to replace it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing that. It's not very cold, the weather now in Cornwall. It's been quite mild, about sort of 11, 12 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I'll try to remember to put that up on the screen for you. So, but it is mild, and so even where we've had a wind, she feels quite lovely. So he's not going to get a lot of use right at the moment, but you never know. You know, it's only February. We can still get snow at Easter, so you never know. And certainly if we don't get it in Cornwall, we'll get it when I'm back up in St Albans. So I'm wondering, I may block it. I'm not sure. I haven't blocked it yet, and I think I will block it, and I may pull it out just a little bit, give it a little bit of give. So, but that's really beautiful. And as I say, I think that would also make a great present because it won't take too long to make. Talking about blocking, you'll probably remember that I was talking to you about the Daft Days cardigan last time, and I said that I needed to add some buttons. So I have got my buttons. Let me put those on there for you. And I also said that the sleeves were too long, and so I gave them a second blocking and made sure that the sleeves were almost pushed up a bit as much as you could, and certainly not. I think what happened is because they were right before I blocked it initially, lengthwise, but I was trying to get them to give a little bit round here, and they did that, but they then stretched as well the other way. So I managed to correct that back, as I say, by sort of squishing it and just making sure and checking the measurements before I left it to dry. So that's good. The magic of blocking, eh? And this is a lovely knit. So much so, actually, that I am going to get some more yarn, or I have ordered. I've got some more yarn. I'll tell you about that in a little while from Blue Fern Yarns, because I really like the double knit that I used in the Advent calendar for that. So my next project that's on my needles is the field sweater. And I am really enjoying knitting this. This has been a real adventure, a real knitting adventure. The yoke required a lot of concentration and lots of work. And I got some help with doing the yoke. Let me bring this up a little bit closer to you. So I've been following Tash from Mostly Knitting, has tutorials where she just covers a couple of rows in each tutorial, but just helps you show you how to do it, and it takes the guesswork out of the pattern to see that, rather than me trying to work it out and spend time going over that, risking getting it wrong and so forth. So I found that was really beneficial. But I've now finished the yoke, And we're on to the stocking stitch, which I'm really enjoying, just that straightforward knitting. So the body has been knitted and is just ready for the rib. I think it's about a 5 centimetre rib that's going to go down on the bottom. And the same for the sleeve. Just need to add the rib for the right sleeve. These little markers are to show my decreases. I find that it just makes it so much easier when you're decreasing, because you can see what you've done where you are. And the left sleeve is underway. So that's making good progress. As I say, I'm really enjoying doing that. I was knitting that in the car on the way back down to Cornwall a couple of days ago. And it's such a nice knit that I'm really tempted at some point maybe to do another one. It's not been blocked at all yet, and I think it probably could benefit from a bit of blocking. It's a bit squished up and it looks maybe slightly uneven in places, so it will probably benefit from some blocking. Also, I did some extra stitches in the body for this jumper too, and it's really coming along. We're almost nearly there, and I'm hoping it won't be much longer. So, and that's belonging in this beautiful bag that I've got here from, where's it from? Norfolk. So on Etsy. So the next work in progress is the Fern and Feather by Jennifer Steingass. And I have completed the yoke on this. It's knitted in worsted weight yarn, which is unusual for me. I normally tend to do double knit, maybe 4-ply. So be interesting to see how I find that. I think it's fine for knitting, of course, because it knits quite quickly, but I'm not sure how I'll feel about wearing it. But I wanted to give this a go. I like this pattern. I wanted to give it a go, and it is certainly beautiful. I feel it's quite I think any of these yokes, they sort of lift your face a little bit, don't they? So that's really nice. So the Fair Isle, it's quite interesting, isn't it, when you look at it? The Fair Isle I've knitted with 2 hands. So I hold the dominant yarn in my left hand, which will be the white, and then the green in my right hand, using English style throwing method with my right hand, which is how I normally knit, and continental knitting. So I'm picking with the yarn over my finger and picking from it my left hand. And I find if you haven't picked up a system like that, I find it's something you need to practice. You need to almost get into a small project and something that's relatively straightforward and quite repetitive to get you going, to sort of get you into the flow of it. But I really do enjoy colour work, and I really enjoyed doing this, but I'm also equally now looking forward to all that lovely stocking stitch. And as I say, because it's in worsted, I'm going to guess it's going to knit up a little bit quicker than some of the others. So I'm really pleased with that so far. And this is knitted, before I finish, this is knitted in the Fibre Company's Cumbria. As I say, it's the worsted weight. So my other works in progress have not been going so well, but let me share those with you. So I was going to knit I decided to knit the passerine hat. You may remember that I had 2 yarns, and which were from the camel yarns, and I was going to knit the passerine hat, which was the one with the birds on. I then decided I felt the pink was too much when I knitted it on at the beginning. So I thought, well, actually, I'll do the Alaska, which was the trees. So I've done that up, well, I'm about halfway. And let me see if I can bring it closer to cameras. Needles. And I don't feel that the trees really stand out. I don't know. At the moment, it's looking to me like a bit of a mess. And I think there's too much going on with the other colour of the main yarn and then the pink. I think it's too much going on because there's lots of little bits and pieces, lots of little stitches, which is to give the effect of the trees. But I think that probably works really well. See, it does from the pictures. Works really well where it's a more solid colour, but it's not working so well for this one. So I'm not sure about that. I've got a feeling that's going to be frogged. I may take it back and go back to plan A, which was the passerine hat with the birds, and see how that looks with that yarn. Otherwise, I'm not sure. It may end up being a sock. The colour's beautiful. I love the way the different colours are popping out of the navy, a dark navy. It's got these colours popping out, and that's beautiful. But yeah, I'm not even sure. Maybe I might even ditch the pink. I'm not absolutely sure what I'm going to do with that one. So I've also shared with you that I was going to knit either the Shift Cowl or the Traveller Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I had these lovely colours to knit them in. And I cast on for the Shift Cowl. That was what I decided to do, having looked at it. But again, I'm not sure. I'm not feeling it with the colours. And then I went to Stitches and Cream last week and found this. I thought was rather gorgeous. Again from Camel Yarns, which is where this one's from. So I'm toying with doing a mixture of this and this and this and going back to the Traveller Cowl. But we'll see. So, yeah, I'm going to have a little play around and see what I think works. And I do feel like I'm being a little bit, so much indecisive, but yeah, I'm not quite finding my way on certain things anyway. So, but that's fun of knitting, isn't it? So when I was in Stitches and Cream, I also picked up this lovely skein. It's from Blue Fern Yarns. And it is called Cliff Top Views. And it was hanging next to some green from John Arbon. So I have bought enough or ordered enough of that green John Arbon to make a cardigan. And I'm thinking I may do something with this and that, or I may do something just in the green, the John Arbon green, and then do something separate with this. So we will see. I'm certainly seem to be swayed at the moment, and I'm wondering if it's the sort of January, February, the sort of post-Christmas winter feeling that's making me go out and buy things and cast things on just for a little bit of soothing, really, I suppose. Anyway, something that's going to keep me on the straight and narrow a little bit more is that I have signed up to a test knit, and I haven't done a test knit for a very long time. So this test knit, it's described as a broken rib and stocking stitch top down sleeveless pullover stroke vest with a boat neck, and I do like a boat neck, and a split hem. So those are two characteristics that I'm definitely drawn to. It's described as something that you can wear over the top of something. I'm also thinking that I would like to probably wear it with maybe only a vest underneath. And so I've chosen a yarn from Blue Fern Yarns. I've ordered it, that I think I'll be able to wear against my skin with just a vest underneath, or maybe not even that. But so that's going to be really exciting. It's got a relatively short deadline, not helped by the fact that I've had to wait for the yarn because I didn't have anything in my stash. So I'll need to crack on with that when that gets in, and other things may get put slightly to one side. However, it is sleeveless. It's not going to take that long, and it's double knit. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun, and that will be interesting to see how that comes out as well. One final thing that I picked up when I was at Stitches and Cream was this Aran Weight yarn from the Fibre Company, and I've got it, just the one ball, just to test swatch to make the Nola cardigan, which I saw and thought looked fabulous. I haven't got a second colour yet, but I'm thinking something ready peachy, or peachy, I think, more than ready, but that in that kind of cue. So I'm going to look for something there. It might be a question of finding something that I need to hold double in order to get to the right gauge. So going to have a go at doing that. So as you can see, there is lots going on both on my needles and in my head, going to keep me busy and keep up with me. You can follow me on Instagram, and you can follow me. I have a Ravelry page, so if you want more details of some of the things that I'm doing, you can see that on there. That just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching. It's been lovely to have you, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, do subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. I'll be back along in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a bit of footage of the beach, which is just below my apartment this morning, where we went out for a walk. And then I will give you a little bit of footage of a Cornwall for you to enjoy as well. So until next time, happy knitting, take care, and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.